I made a comment on here that MTHFR, now granted, that is not the acronym for one of my favorite phrases, but the genetic test for methylation, and that it was a little bit of BS. So I'm going to give you my retort, because if you know me, you know that my focus is on etiology and cause versus symptomology and the conversation about issues if they all pertain back to the same problem. So when we look at MTHFR, what has become the buzzword of, oh, you're not able to methylate, you can't metabolize B vitamins effectively, which screws up your ability to methylate heavy metals. What's important to understand is, in that conversation, you hear people saying, okay, I have a genetic variant, right? My genes aren't functioning properly and I can't methylate properly. Here's the facts. If you have that specific variant that is expressing currently, let me make sure I reiterate that. If you have the gene expression, right, because you can have an anomaly in your genetic code for lots of anything, God knows I do, that if a gene's not expressing, it's not an issue. So when we talk about genetics is important in many aspects, right? It makes up who we are. It's our DNA. But the study of epigenetics and the understanding of epigenetics is more influential than your genetic makeup, because through epigenetics and gene expression, we're able to change how our DNA functions. It happens every day. So I'm not going to cite sources on this because I'm live. But what I encourage you to do is take a little time, do a little typing for yourself. It's Easter week, so I rock the Easter outfit to start on Monday because Good Friday's coming and Easter's coming. We got family coming into town. So do this research on your own. Don't take my word. I'm a functioning idiot. But look up mercury toxicity, methylation. Look up mercury toxicity. Hey babe, could you do, I'm live talking about MTHFR. Can you talk about epigenetics real quick, or you want to go? You need to go, you're worn out.
I'm a little tired.
You're quite tired, but you look amazing.
I can do it later.
We can do another one. My wife is amazing. You want to come say hi?
Yeah, I don't know what I look like.
Babe, you look amazing. Here's the best part of my day. She says she doesn't look good right now. And we just broke the internet. See how everybody goes nuts saying love, 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 love.
Oh.
I don't get any of that.
Whatever.
You show up. Look at this. We broke the freaking internet.
Whatever.
Look, no, seriously, you step on screen. Look at everybody's going nuts. Look, it's not going to stop. It's just a love fest when you show up.
Well, so he asked me to talk about genetics and epigenetics.
So I'm doing a response to a post I made on MTHFR, right, and methylation. That it's not the people that say they have an MTHFR issue. It's not the issue with the genes. It's genetic expression, but that's caused by mercury.
Well, not just mercury.
What say you?
Oh,
talk to me.
It's caused by epigenetics that there's different things that can cause it, but it can be caused by the inflammatory cascade, that can be caused by heavy metals. Mercury is one of those that can definitely cause that. You can also have it caused by viruses and outside factors that can cause that to release. And actually, a lot of autoimmune disorders are like that. And so it's something that you really have to take care of, and really by detoxing and then lowering the inflammatory cascade, you can prevent that and treat your body effectively so that that's not an ongoing issue.
Have you guys ever heard inflammatory cascade? Sounds so amazing. You want to go home? You can go. Here, you got.
I'm actually going to a meeting with Crystal Archie and some other people.
Oh,
yeah.
And Mimi Pullman.
No, Mimi's not there tonight because of kids and
well,
stuff.
Then it's not a party.
That's right.
Wow.
Tracy and some other people. I'm just going to drop by really quick. But no, there's a lot of things we could talk about. I actually am a little tired. We've been doing stuff, and I was just writing an article that's going to be released on whether to vaccinate or not vaccinate, and why you detox before and after vaccination, and what that will do. And because I worked for biotech and pharma, this is a topic that I happen to know a lot about.
So can we hit on that real quick before you go? Just real quick so you can go. So you were at GlaxoSmithKline.
No, I was at Bristol Myers Squibb.
BMS. Sorry, there's so many of them.
J&J, because I worked for Janssen, and then I was at UCB, Biogen, Alexion, Pfizer.
So let's talk mRNA real quick. Just real quick synopsis, because look, see, you mention these words and everybody goes nuts again. You've actually done research, and we're part of teams that have done research with mRNA for HIV drugs.
Well, with HIV drugs, so with companies, you work on what's called retroviruses to create things that go in to basically get rid of other viruses. So I have a hard time, and Clayton knows this, of hearing everyone attached, because I worked for all those companies, and we actually had a good mission and purpose, which is to be able to go in and correct things in the body. However, sometimes it doesn't work right. Like with HIV and some of the things that happened, we were able to come up with small cocktails that we would change continuously, and would be able to help people block the virus, because you want to get the viral load down, because with basically in our body, and you guys probably know this, there are viruses everywhere. There's fungus, bacteria, parasites, and they live there. They're like cities, but you don't want them to take over. You want to be, and I always say this, the boss of your house, right? So the issue that can happen with vaccines is that you can take a vaccine and it can cause inflammation, or because of the different heavy metals that are used, it can cause, through your brain and spinal fluid and the brain, it can cause swelling, and it can even cause, like the children in some of the studies, to have problems. Usually they won't release vaccines unless they know that that's safe. But the problem is there haven't been a lot of studies with all these vaccines that are used together, and how they accumulate over years, and what they can do to people's bodies when you have multiple vaccines that are taken over a period of time, and how does that impact the body. And then now we have a different kind of vaccine that's been released, because the vaccines that have been released have actually been out there for a while, because they're made in host cells that are caterpillar or insect larvae, but there were so many side effects that occurred with the animals that they didn't want to release it. They actually were efficacious, but there were side effects. But I don't know, and I'm being honest, I don't work for those companies anymore, so I don't know what's changed based on that. What I do know is that it's really important to detox before and after the vaccines, because 75%, I'll give you an example, mercury was something that everyone was worried about, but now there's aluminum that they put instead of mercury. What people don't know is that alumina goes into your liver and kidneys and bladder and heart and in your brain, and so it can actually impact you. So you want to break that apart, not getting rid of the good parts of the vaccine, but breaking it apart so that it does not cause the inflammation and the signaling to keep going, because when it keeps going, then it can impact your gene, your body, and then possibly your children because of that signaling. It's not actually that it's changing the genes, it's the messaging that's going on between the cells that you have to worry about. So it's just really important to take care, and there's lots of different ways you can detox. You can use elderberry, turmeric, of course zeolites, of course orthosilic acid.
Would you kind of recommend Clean Slate maybe?
Well, one of the reasons I worked on Clean Slate and did patents on Clean Slate and have continued to do patents over the last years, because I think it is very important. We want our bodies to be a well-oiled machine and to be able to fight viruses that are bad for us and to become the champion, because we want to live, we want our children to live. So you got to continuously get rid of the bad stuff and keep the good stuff in, and that's one of the things that Clean Slate does.
So here's the question, because Steve Harris is my brother. We're both Black Irish. He just has better skin tone. That's my boy. He asked a really good question. So why did they, when you were working on vaccines, why did they add mercury initially, but then people realized that mercury was the worst neurotoxin known to men, and they switched to using a nanotized aluminum? Why with antivirals and vaccines do they add neurotoxins like aluminum or mercury? Because you hit on it with where they're lodged, but they use those to attach to the virus as a delivery mechanism, correct?
It's a delivery mechanism, and it helps to make the vaccine, go throughout the body and be able to work and to communicate. Like what we're saying, we need to break it apart. It actually is something that does help it get to the point where it will work in the body, where it can work to do what it needs to do, which the purpose of vaccines are to get rid of, a virus so people don't die.
Sometimes they can be used to get rid of people.
Yes, but there's some positives that can go along with the vaccines. I have not taken the vaccine, as you know.
Would you?
I've taken about every vaccine there is. If I did take it, I would make sure that I was taking detoxification to break apart the aluminum so it doesn't affect your brain and your spine. But I don't want to.
You don't have to go further than that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm the one who gets to talk about the controversial stuff. But last thing, the first patent was issued. In the patent, so you can look this up, her first patent, which there's 4 more coming behind this process, that is what makes Clean Slate. It mentions that Clean Slate, or this formula, is antiviral.
It doesn't say Clean Slate. It says the formulas that I created.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Which is what Clean Slate is from.
From me, but...
So it's made with love.
It is made with love. It's made with the hope that we can help people and their children, and so that whether they get vaccinated or not, so we're able to help people. Because I don't know what the world is going to entail, but our goal has to be the best people possible and to help each other, and that's the purpose of it.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, I guess. Okay, go do dinner. Do we need more than that, honestly? I thought I was going to be talking. You got kissed with greatness. I mean, honestly, seriously. So, well, we were going to talk MTHFR, but we got a little bit deeper, didn't we? So, I'm going to lean into the camera, but then I'm going to move over. There we go. Because we got the office redecorated. You should see the office. It's epic now. But our sitting area is amazing. You can see the hexagons. You know why the hexagons are important? Because clinoptilolite is hexagonal. Oh, it's all over here. Dude, I didn't just marry up. I outkicked my coverage. But here's the important part. God is great, because apparently he figured out that I had a couple things I was good at, and one of those is serving that woman. So of everything that I do, the most important thing I do is take care of her. Because as you can see, if we take care of her, really good stuff happens. So what's the most important thing we can take from this conversation? One thing to take from this conversation, and that is this: Clean Slate is made with love. Period. And whose love? Hers. So if you need a little more love in your life, in the form of amazing little crystals that hold energy, let's look at that real quick. You have the ability to take this amazing crystal, the most powerful crystal made by nature, that we make bioavailable, and she puts her love into that bottle, and then we polarize it and we make it a lot stronger in the process, which is part of her patents. That's why you can take one drop of this stuff and start to get benefits. So with that, that's how we talk about MTHFR. It's not about your genetics. It's about the frickin' mercury. It's the aluminum. It's the other heavy metals that cause the damage to your DNA, that cause the switch to flip from genetic expression. Don't worry about MTHFR. Worry about what causes the variation. You can look this up. Why genetically do you have that variation? Well, let's go back to the cause and timing. When are we first exposed to mercury? When you're in the womb. What's in mom is in the fetus. So when does that damage take place to your genes? When you're being created. That's when it all starts. So is it that you have a genetic issue? Or is it that you were just born into and bathed in an amazing cesspool? That cesspool creates life. That cesspool can create chaos. So what do we need to do? We got to clean up mamas. If you want to have babies, you haven't yet, clean slate, crucial. If you're pregnant, probably want a healthy pregnancy and you want a healthy baby. I know what I would do. And if you've got kids, as young as they can get, we have kids as young as 1 day and as old as I think about 90 plus right now. So kids of all ages. Millie's here. Millie, I love you. I gotta come see you shortly. Tell Danielle we need to have a chit chat about her daughter. But because it's something for kids who don't methylate properly. Sometimes those kids who don't methylate properly have different diagnoses because they have a lot of mercury and aluminum and glyphosate in their brains. Well, what happens when you remove it? Their symptoms go away. Food for thought. What do you want to do? So that is the answer to my post from last week. I don't think I could have provided a better answer because I didn't have to answer it. Mama did. So happy Monday, everyone. It's Easter week. And now Dory comes. Dory, can I add you real quick? Let me see if I can bring her on here. Add. See if it works. I don't know if she'll want to add. She's just watching. So Mama's calling me. So konnichiwa. Love you guys. Good chat. See you soon.